been getting a lot of the same kind of question. Even in some comments, just seeing kind of random videos, not questioning like straight to me, but just seeing the question arise. And then even in person, over in Vegas at the Vegas Discount Nutrition Meet and Greet, I get a lot of the same sort of deal. Not the exact same question, but kind of asked in a similar way. And essentially just what do I do when I'm not feeling like it? Right? Now there was a few spins. There was, a few guys where the gist of the question was, I'm very particular. I want to make sure I rested well and I slept well and I ate well so I can train as well as I can. What do I do if that prep just didn't happen? What if my sleep was trash, right? Am I supposed to hit a solid workout? I mean, I'm going to feel like I'm not ready. Or, just if maybe motivation's kind of the lull. And the particulars are definitely very individual, right? The actual nitpicky kind of specific thoughts and reasonings behind why you want to get after it are going to be independently variable, right? What gets you amped might not get me amped, or vice versa, right? But you still have something that's supposed to get you amped up, and the way that I would kind of, let's just say, preface the idea of what to do when you're not really feeling like it is to just try to freaking spin it, just spin it some kind of way. You get some, you're essentially telling yourself bad news. Shit, man, you didn't really sleep that well last night. Ooh, your hydration, not on point last night, man, dude, you've barely eaten. You were out all day at the library studying for that test because you didn't study all year, and then, now you gotta hustle so you can pass. You're doing a project, just, shit. Maybe your car broke down somewhere where you actually you were totally stranded. You never know what could freaking happen. Right? I think the guy who's gonna get after it is gonna be able to take whatever that external circumstance is, and the only way that he's gonna actually be affected by it is in his own positive way of saying, all right, fuck, man, shit happens. I'm still gonna hit my lift. I'm still gonna thug it out. I'm still gonna slam some Super Thavage citrus slush. That was the one today, and I'm gonna get after it. But I guess that's easy to say. On a deeper level, what kind of makes me say I still want to kill it, even when things, let's just say suck. Right? Let's say schedule, day, sick, sick within reason. Maybe like stuffy from allergies. I was dying sick a few weeks ago. There was no workouts to be done. That was pretty bad. You can definitely be sick enough where a workout isn't going to help your situation. But just as like kind of a more mindseted approach, I want to freaking move. I want to keep moving. I want to keep doing something. It doesn't matter if it's even as trivial as like going in to do a really light workout or something, or maybe it's shit, dude. Sam, we got an absolute emergency down at the Raw HQ. You got to jump on this flight in 30 minutes. Well, I'd still probably want to try to do at least a little bit of a workout, even if I was on like a super kind of little time crunch, right? Because what happens if you stop moving? What happens if you stop doing shit? Well, for one, nothing's going to happen. We've all kind of heard the phrase, nothing happens if nothing happens. Or nothing changes if nothing changes. But I think a way to describe it, which is a little more, makes a little more sense now, is, shit, man. If you're not moving around, right, clearly you've got no motion. So it's, that's how I think about it. So if I could fast forward, or I guess I would say to somebody who's kind of, shit, I'm just not feeling it. That could be their headspace. I'd say fast forward 3 months, fast forward a month, even fast forward a day to tomorrow. What's going to happen if you slack off? What's going to happen? And I don't mean slack off like you skipped your homework or you didn't make your bed. I mean slack off about the gym, about something that you want to do. Like it's not forced upon you. The gym's never forced upon anybody. At least it shouldn't be. So the only reason anybody would have to be upset about the fact that they're not really where they want to be, or they're not on track to where they want to be, well, I mean, shit, man, it's kind of on you. It's a very individual endeavor. It's not going to happen if nobody else is, if you're not the one pushing yourself. You know, I mean, I've seen it where guys will try to bring their kids into the gym, and it's a hard sell. You know, I can understand that, to try to get somebody who's not in the gym into it. It's hard, you're sweating, it kind of hurts. You know, eventually you realize it's a good hurt, and that's actually a good thing. Just, you know, the kind of burning feeling. But for the uninitiated, that's kind of hard. So the only reason anybody would want to do it to an insane level of, effort, to that kind of degree, is going to be if they internally want to. And you can't really, that's not something that can be taught, right? So what I think, and what gets me excited every day, apart from the fact that I just am excited to do this chest day, is I know that by doing it, and by continuing to do it over the course of the next weeks, months, years, then I'm just going to keep moving, right? Wherever my trajectory of progress leads. So, the fact that I don't exactly know where that's going to be makes it interesting, because it makes me feel like I want to find out. I want to find out how far I can push myself. I want to find out how, on a little bit more of a basic level, how big can I freaking get my chest? How much, how crazy of a set can I hit? Not for one, I'm not a 1 rep max kind of guy, but like a 10 rep max, which I think is actually a much more valuable reading on your strength. So I guess if I had to kind of pinpoint, or if I had to condense that all into one idea, it's more like I want to stay in the game, right? I want to freaking see what happens. So that keeps me excited. But if you ever have a moment where you're in the car, you got your pre-workout next to you, you haven't drank it yet, you're just kind of sitting, you're like, oh, we've all felt the feeling. It's not because you're not excited for the gym, it's more like other shit is just getting in the way. You just gotta watch something to get yourself amped. That's really the only tip I could give in that scenario. But as more of a specific for what's gonna go down today, I'm gonna have to see. My hamstrings and my freaking quads in general are still like residually swollen from that leg day with those really heavy squats. Plus, flying back home didn't really help that inflammation. So I may not want to do dumbbell bench today, just because I'm gonna have to pick the dumbbells up and basically just doing like a freaking deficit deadlift, because the dumbbell handles are closer to the floor than even with a regular barbell. So maybe I'll just stick to plate loading machines, maybe some Smith. I'll see what happens. I'll freaking see what happens. I'll get a more specific idea on what's going to feel good after the warm-up. So how about we just jump straight in the cables and start limbering up the rotator cuffs. So before any dumbbell, before any barbell, before really, even a machine press, before any loading seriously of my chest, I basically have I guess it's a 4-movement loop that'll jump on for the cable. So this is pre-chest. I'll probably sit here for 10 minutes. I've already done a few of these, but I'm basically just doing a loop of some push downs, some cable rows, some rotator cuff activators, like basically doing a standing single arm face pull up here, but still getting like this rotation. Just a rear delt activator would definitely work. But this right here, this movement with load, really kind of warms my shoulders up, because I haven't had a crackly shoulder for a while. And then just some cable press, So the whole point isn't necessarily just warming up my chest. Obviously the cable press part is, but just warming up everything that is about to be activated. So as much as I'm going to try to get my triceps out of it, they're going to be in play, so I want it to be warm. I want to warm up a little bit on my lats and mid-back, just so that what's the word? It's not brace, but just be able to kind of tense my back, pull my shoulder blades together, and help me use more chest and less front delts on whatever the first set of pressing ends up being. And this isn't, I'm not doing a working set here. This isn't really fatiguing my back or anything, but it's just enough to get things warm and moving. Because the last thing I want to do is think, all right, shit, my chest is ready. Ooh, my shoulder's a little tender. Or my triceps are a little something or other, you know. But I've been doing this loop as my chest warm-up. I don't know, I think it's been like a year and a half, 2 years-ish. And my shoulders, I mean, I guess I just haven't done anything to hurt them, which is good. But even just baseline, like, tenderness from doing really heavy chest days back to back, it just hasn't really messed with me. So I'm going to sit here for probably, I don't know, another 5-ish minutes, just go back and forth. And then once I feel like I'm ready, pick whatever movement number 1 is, and then, you know, do a 1 plate, 2 plates, 3 plates for whatever the working set's going to add up to be. All right. Yeah, Smith will be good. So 3 big ones, and this is a pretty heavy Smith. Like the counterweights, because typically how a Smith machine will work is it's got some counterweights pulling up the bar. So usually the bar is like 25 pounds instead of 45. This one's got to be at least 35. So this is close to a straight up 3 plates. But I'm warm. I'm double warm by doing a plate, 2 plates, 3 plate feeler. So now the only question is how many reps am I going to be able to pull off? Pull out, pull off. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Let me make sure this thing's fucking, yeah, we're good. Yeah. Okay. One more. All right, if I can get 10, then we'll do one more. If I can't, then I'll move on. And I'm aiming to freaking do one more. At least. Okay. Whew. Oh, man. Yeah, shit, that's a good feeling. I was really fucking trying to get that last one, but it was not gonna move. All right, let's, what would you do? Another heavy press or flies to change it up? Give me a second. This will be a good back and forth. So this pattern might look like 2 sets of heavy pressing, 1 or 2 sets of lighter squeezing flies, and then back and forth. So if I think I want to jump onto that converging chest press after just 1 set, I'm cool with that. But if I want to do 2 after doing 1, I'm cool with that too. I got to finish the first one to find out. Yeah. 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 Ooh. Let's do one more and then go back to a press. Yeah. Yeah. Poof. Yeah. Ooh. All right. So yeah, time for some incline press. Let's just stick to 3 plates here. I think any more would be a little too much. All right. Two. Two. Yeah. Two. Two. Oh shit. Oh. All right, one more. Oh shit. It's fucking heavy. Pretty soon I might have to fucking adjust the height of the handles because if my back gets any thicker, it's gonna raise my shoulders up and I won't actually be able to freaking grab onto them. But let's get this one. Yeah, start this. Good. Two. Ooh. Ooh. Poof. Okay. Oh shit. All right. Oh shit. Let's grab the pec tack. This is just going to be a good heavy set. As many as I can do at a decent pace, and then as many partials, and really just burn out is kind of the point here. All right. Six, two, yeah, yeah, two, all right. Now let's finish with a cable press, and I think that'll be all. So this set as a finisher, I'm very particular about trying to get the perfect weight. Because if it's too light, I'll just feel like I'm burning out reps for no reason, and they don't like add up to my overall like feeling of pumpedness. But if it's too heavy, then I won't be able to get a good squeeze and burn at the bottom, and I'll just be moving around reps like I was before. So I think 130 is about right. Combined with, what's a good song? Yeah, this will be good. Okay. Come on. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Let's lose the pump cover. See how we're looking. All right, so I can already grade the pump as quite wild just from just from the feeling. So what I mean by that is like, just for one, I can feel they're extra swollen, like just without flexing, but pressing, there's a lot more resistance than when I'm unpumped. But also just in the feeling of trying to pull my shoulders back. Like there's just so much blood in here that it's making my chest not contract, but just like tighten up, if you sort of feel me. But either way, let's see how we're looking. Ooh, underneath some shadowy downlighting. So as it gets warmer, I'm probably gonna have to stop repping. Stop rocking hoodies or anything for these lifts, just because it'll be too friggin' hot. And I haven't figured out an air conditioning system yet. There's an AC in the front room, and I wonder if it's powerful enough to cool the entire gym if I just leave it on, turn on a fan, and just have it consistently like circulate cold air. I think there might be something there. But just standing without even doing a flex, yeah, my chest is feeling rather freaking bulbous. So let's run through a couple. Oh my gosh. I feel like I can't even do a proper freaking most muscular because my arms are like running into my chest on both sides. But if I can maintain at least a decent level of body fat throughout this entire off season or through this bulk, that'll be solid. So what I don't want to lose is like, relatively, that's pretty solid ab separation. But as you get bigger, you start eating more food. It's just kind of the nature of it. You're going to get a little softer. So I'm at least going to enjoy this time that I can just stand here lean and crazy full and pumped. It's like best of both worlds. Oh, man. So that's a badass chest day. And now to finish it off, let's go home and do some cardio. Arguably not more important than the lift, but come on. All right, it's 30 minutes. It's not that much. All right. That felt pretty good. That felt pretty good. And even with, I would say, compromised dieting over these last couple days, just from traveling around and not having like a fridge full of ground beef and steak and eggs, yeah, still feeling solid. So I can definitely tell I was eating a bunch of junk, and I can kind of feel I'm just like extra. I mean, not as much today after I drank a ton of water last night and woke up, a little bit fresher. But I was definitely getting a little bloated kind of feeling. Not like my stomach, just like my skin and everything, more like subcutaneous layer kind of water retention. So yeah, this will definitely be a bit of a cleaner bulk, and that's kind of been the progression. It's the off season, pushing food has become cleaner and cleaner over time. Partially, shit, I'd kind of just say out of maybe not even necessity, maybe just fucking preference. I definitely don't look back and think, man, I should have completely changed what I did on my first bulk or my second bulk or whatever, because they still worked, and now I am where I am, right? But yeah, I think pushing more, cream of rice, cream of wheat, ground beef, eggs, just plain simpler foods as the majority of my calorie intake. I mean, it's not so much that I feel awesome. It's more so I just don't feel bad, and that's kind of the tricky part about having a really good routine, or going to bed a little bit earlier and waking up a little earlier, being hydrated, not even just on like a personal life aspect, try not to have too much drama or things that you're really fussing about, because I feel like a lot of people, they kind of have this chasing the high schedule, where it's like, all right, shit, today was really boring, I didn't really do anything fun, all right, let's have a ton of fun right now. Shit, I stayed up till like 3 a.m. last night, I'm hungover, day feels like shit, all right, it's nighttime, let's have some more fun. And it's like this up and down of you kind of get the gist. And if you're a little bit more homebody-ish, all right, let's say you protect your peace for a little while, and your W for the weekend was you got some extra sleep, you woke up early, you went on you actually did some cardio this time with your workouts, little things like that. That's not a home run feeling, but over the course of time, that adds up, So I kind of like to think about it like I've got a overall enjoyment portfolio. And I always want it to be a little bit in the green. I always want to feel overall solid. So how I do that, what makes me feel good is, did I train today? Is the food that I'm eating on track with what my goals are today? Did I do my cardio? Am I doing all my other shit that I have to do to just, I mean, you kind of get what I'm saying there. And as long as everything's basically, in order, I feel pretty freaking good, right? The last thing you want is to have just get hit with a sidelined like, oh shit, I didn't do this, or this, and then now you're kind of like packing up, let's just call them life's missed assignments, and the last thing you want to do is ever have to play catch up, that freaking sucks. But in terms of today, I can check off the box of getting a badass workout, and I've still got to check off the box of doing my cardio. So I think I'll just jump straight to that. What I've been doing is getting on the computer, editing the video, and then doing my cardio while the video renders and loads. But I think I may as well just keep up the momentum and jump straight onto the bike. And I can't, I can't stress it enough. It's not that freaking hard. You're playing on your phone. Maybe you're a Nintendo Switch guy. Maybe you're a Steam Deck kind of guy. Dude, your hands are free. And if you do cardio on the bike, your torso isn't wobbling around at all, right? I wouldn't mind if they didn't suck. I wouldn't mind a little pedal machine. Like it would have to be a bit beefier than the ones you can just buy on Amazon, because you can buy these little pedalers where it just sticks underneath your desk. It kind of like suctions to the floor or something, and you can kind of pedal while you're on your chair. They're just they seem a little dainty. I don't really think it would be, worth like the $100 to buy it and then just have it sit forever. But if I had a desk that was connected to my cardio bike, that would be perfect, because I would just edit the video while I'm sitting there pedaling, So if that's any indication of the intensity that I'm kind of recommending, not that crazy, So a little, I guess it would probably depend on what you can do, but I'm not aiming necessarily for a specific amount of calories burned. It's more so I set the difficulty. I definitely keep it around like 80 RPM-ish, but 80 RPM, set the difficulty to whatever gives me this feeling of I'm doing something, but I'm not overdoing it, right? Like while I'm pedaling, I don't want to feel like I'm getting out of breath and I can't maintain that pace. That means I'm doing too much. but I also want to actually still feel like I'm doing something, because if, I could sit on the bike and do difficulty level 1 for, 30 minutes. If my heart rate doesn't get elevated, I'm not really doing anything, right? It might seem like it a little because it's like, oh, I was on the cardio bike for 30 minutes, but if there's no difficulty or resistance, then, it's not going to give you that heart elevation that you need, or at least that's necessary for the cardio to be effective. Usually that puts me around like 130 beats a minute, 135-ish, and if I can keep it up there, maintain that rate of pedaling at whatever difficulty I set the machine to, then I'm good. Don't even think about it. And if I really get into my phone, I try not to look at the time on the top left of my screen. That's kind of half the reason why I like playing Clash Royale while I'm doing my cardio so much, is because it takes my phone full screen and it doesn't show me what time it is. So it's a very easy way to just like, what's 30 minutes on Clash? 15 games-ish? Win half, lose half, listen to a podcast at the same time, or have like a YouTube video playing and like the mini player on top. And then before you know it, boom, your cardio is freaking over. So, especially now that it's a little warmer, people are going to be putting stuff out in the street, spring cleaning style. You can probably get a hold of a little cardio bike. It doesn't even have to be like electric or motorized. The ones where it's just a metal flywheel with the plastic like friction disc, that's perfectly fine too. It's the same thing. All you do is adjust the difficulty level by how hard you push on the disc. People are going to start leaving those outside. So if you know somebody with a truck or something, or a big, maybe a van, anything that'll fit it, the barrier to entry to cardio very low. And if you can have a machine at your house, that definitely helps. Or the garage, or the basement, or shit, man. If the weather's nice, put it outside. Then you don't have to get in the car and drive and have like an extra 30 minutes of transit for 30 minutes of cardio. Not the most efficient use of your driving time. So just have it right at the house and then jump straight into it. So that's my little tip. That's my summer tip. If you can get a hold of a cardio machine, you can have an easier time doing your cardio. Now I guess if you don't want to do it, though, shit, man, suit yourself. But I'm gonna go home, get some food in my system. I think I don't know what I'm going to eat, but I know it's going to be good. So, either way, I'll see you for some back tomorrow.